And after some technical problems in the last session, we're back live here at Zandvoort for a short qualifying session. So, we just had Q1, but thanks to technical difficulties, we've restarted the session, which means this short quali, consisting of 18 minutes of full qualifying, will determine the grid for the race. So it's just one qualifying session. Then the starting tires can be chosen outside of the top 10. So if you qualify within the top 10, you'll start on the tire which you have set the fastest lap time with in this session. So if you qualify within the top 10, you'll start on the tires that you've used in this session. And if you qualify outside of this top 10, then you have free choice of tire for the race. So let's go again for a qualifying session here around Zandvoort. And immediately we see something different with the tires. Jars, Jansen and meneer Van den Bergen going out on the medium tires, and all the other drivers on the soft tire for the moment. And with 18 drivers now in the lobby, I think that's almost everyone. We're missing 2 drivers, but at least it's more than the number of drivers we started with in the last session. And let's hope for a smooth session in this qualifying. So we have Jerry van Bussel, Jars, Jansen, Stef, Mika and Kaya on a lap already, as they wanted to get out as fast as possible. Let's look at Jars. He joined later in the qualifying session we had before. He is now, of course, in time to complete a full qualifying session with us. He's on the medium tire and it's a 24.8 after the first sector. Missing the apex for the right-hander, braking at the 50 meter part. And let's see how competitive his time will be. He's not putting the tightest lap together, so Jars might be going for a soft run after this medium run. It's 49.6 for sector 2. And now it's on the power for the final part of the track. Sector 3, as Jerry van Bussel goes to 110.9, then TTG Mika goes to 10.2. DRS open for Jars. Jars goes a 111.3, and it's interestingly enough, Mika on provisional pole 110.2 is 1 temp down on the time we saw in Q1, the final session. Kaya 7 temps down on Mika as Fruitful goes P2, 10.5 in the Red Bull with the fastest third sector. Damiano goes P3, so Damiano now having the chance of setting a lap time at least is P3. Let's go on board with Milan. As Ferenc now goes 10.1, I think that's the fastest time we've seen up till now. Can Milan go any faster though? Milan was on P1 at the end of Q1. He goes P3 in this session with the fastest final sector, as the McLaren of Davy sets the 11th time, 114.4. He'll go for another lap. So it's Ferenc on provisional pole with Mika behind, and then Milan in P3 in the Mercedes. And let's go on board Jagizan. He's on the medium tire, 110.9, good enough for P7. Medium tire being a good strategy here around Zandvoort if you start on those tires. But of course, if you qualify within the top 10, you'll have to start on the tire that you qualified with. And that's why he's using the medium tires at the moment. Mika into the pit lane and preparing for his next run as Black Box goes P4, 110.2, and it's the 2 Mercedes on the second row of the grid currently. Julian going into the pit lane is P5, so P2 in the championship, P5 on the grid for now. As Ferrens goes into the pits. Same for Milan. Steph in the Haas is coming slowly into the pits. I think he doesn't have enough fuel for another run. As Janssen has spun around at the Arie Luijendijk bocht, getting out of the way of the AlphaTauri of Jagizan. Jagizan going for another lap. He's P9, so he improves by 1/10 of a second by making a second run on the medium tire. Steph, I think he went off as a chicane. Back onto the track, is in P10. He was out in Q1, but now is in P10. So the restart is something positive for Steph, but not for every driver here. Because of course that means for Borrell, Yüksel, they have to set another lap time, which will put them out of Q1 and into Q2. As Yüksel is on his out lap in the Aston Martin, and Borrell is on an out lap as well. So both drivers in an out lap. Let's go to Yüksel because he is the first of these two drivers who's going for a new lap. Skaya goes for a lap as well. He is pushing towards the schijfvlak as we speak, as the Aston Martin of Yüksel now goes for his hot lap into the Tarzan bocht. And he carries a lot of momentum through the corner, avoids the curb on the outside, and now goes towards the banked section of the track in sector 1, accelerating out of turn 3 and towards the schijfvlak he goes. Let's go on board with you, because as he goes through the schijfvlak, it's a downshift towards 6, now shifting up towards 7th gear, and now turning right, and once again right, 3rd gear, upshift, 4th gear, and turning left for the second DRS zone coming up now. Opening DRS, you see the rear wing opening now. Towards the chicane he goes, braking, hitting the curb aggressively, and now it's just finishing the lap and not invalidating it on the exit of this corner. No, he does not. So he's on his way to complete a lap. What will it be though? Will it be good enough for a top 10? It will be a 1:10.9, good enough for P13. Okay, so that was probably not what he expected. P13 at the moment, as Borrell, the Williams driver, is now trying to set the lap time as well, as he invalidates, goes onto the grass, avoids the barrier. No, he does not avoid the barrier, and he's very lucky that he still has any tires left on his Williams. He can continue on his way into the pit lane, but that was very close to being out of the session. Joey in P17 now going for his hot lap, as the Mercedes of Black Box is on a hot lap as well. His team in Milan now crossing the start finish line into another hot lap. So both Mercedes pushing to improve their position. Second row not good enough for them. They want to push for pole position and at least locking out the first row. And by making the corner like that, that won't happen. So Black Box might still be improving because he's still pushing. No, he's not pushing anymore. So Black Box abandoning his lap. Let's go on board with his teammate, who's going 1.5 times faster at the moment. So Milan going 1.5 times faster, which would put him on provisional pole. Now 2.5 times faster. He would be the first driver to go beneath the 1 so into the 1/9 if he can complete his lap without making any mistakes. So Milan towards the line. This could be provisional pole for the Mercedes driver. Will it be a provisional pole? It will be provisional pole of 19.891 for IFR Milan. Puts him on P1. Then the AlphaTauri driver of Kaya going into P7. And then it's the Ferrari of Janssen going into the pit lane. And Jagi-san, AlphaTauri teammate, now going P2. So, wow, he's only a few thousandths of a second down on Milan in P2. Good lap from the Turkish driver, but not good enough for pole position. He is on the front row though. Damiano starting another hard lap after invalidating his previous one. And Jerry starting a hard lap as well. Behind we have Steph completing his lap. And it's good enough for P12. He did not improve and is trying to improve his lap time now. Down to Davey in P10. Our championship leader improves his time and improves his position into P6 for Davey. So the McLaren driver in P6 and Ferrens now fastest of any driver on provisional pole with 109.788. Good lap time from Ferrens in the Williams, so he's now on provisional pole. As 3 drivers have broken the 1 minute 9s, broken into the 1 minute 9s, as Milan now, after seeing Ferrens go provisional pole, heads into the pit lane. As Damiano once again invalidated his run. He was improving, but now he's going for another run, it seems. He sets lap time 5/100th of a second faster than his previous lap, completely missing the apex of the Tarzan corner, and now abandoning his lap once again. Steph, not enough fuel going into the pit lane, and has to try another run. Then let's go on board with Julian. P2 in the championship is going to improve his lap time, or would dearly want to improve his lap time at least. 3,000ths of a second slower than Davey at this time. So if he can improve by the slightest of margins, he would improve 1 position. But I think he can improve a lot more as he goes 2 times faster in the first sector alone. That's purple sector 1 from Julian. So Julian with a shot here of provisional pole. He avoids the curb on the left hand side. Now turning left and opening the DRS in a few moments time. There it is, opening the DRS for drag reduction, and towards the chicane he goes with purple in the second sector as well. 3.5 tenths faster than he was previously. Can he beat the lap time of Ferrens though? We'll see now. As he goes wide, crashes into the wall, doesn't lose his tires, but his lap time, his hard work is undone here after crashing at the Arie Luijendijk bocht, and into the pits he goes. So Julian was on a good lap, but threw it all away at the final corner. That could have been a run that would have been good enough for pole position. As Janssen now crosses the line, P6 goes faster than Davey and slots in behind Black Box. Only a man on the track with Meneer van den Bergen in the Alpine. And Steph in the Haas. But he's on an outlap. Oh, Borrell on an outlap as well. Borrell in the Williams hasn't set a lap time up till now. So he would need to get a move on if he wants to set a lap time in this session at all. Borrell has the pace to go top 10, I think, at least. So let's see if he can go into the top 10, or if he can get 1 clean lap together. Not invalidating his run is key to setting a lap time. This ball slows down a little bit as Red Bull of Jars behind him is also on an outlap. Johnson, I think now is going into the pit lane, and a few cars now going into their hot laps. Let's go on board with Borrell, because he's going for his hot lap now, and over the finish line. Going towards the Tarzan corner, braking at the 50-meter bar. Damiano on the right-hand side now coming out of the pit lane. No disturbance from Damiano for Borrell. Now, it seems like a pretty good first sector to me. Now, down on the power. And towards the Schijfvlak he goes. The first sector is a 24.3. Pretty good first sector. Purple, according to the minimap. Then turning right, and once again right from this very technical second sector. I think he lost some time on his way into the second right-hander, but now opening the DRS. The second sector is coming to a close here. His time 48.8, not purple in the second sector. So purple in the first sector, green in the second sector, and now towards the final corners he goes. Avoiding the apex on the right hand side, and down towards the finish line he goes. Through the Arie Luijendijk corner, opening the DRS, and towards the finish line Borrell goes. Borrell is setting a 1:10.1, good enough for P4, so definitely into the top 10. And then it's it's Damiano, who is now P14, improving his previous lap time by 48 thousandths of a second. But that is not good enough for improvements, for a good enough improvement at least. He's still in P14, and that's not the position he wants to be in. As Ferens now goes for a hard lap. Milan is going for a lap as well. So as I see it, Ferens, Milan, Yagizan, I think Mika have a chance of getting pole position here. Let's go on board with Ferens. He was fastest up till now. Can he keep it that way? He's purple in the first sector, improving his lap time by nearly 5/100ths of a second. Losing Cardo on turning in to the right-hander. And the second sector does not seem like the best he could do. Opening the DRS. Yellow sector 3. And it's on the start-finish. I think it's an Alpine. As we go through the third sector, will Ferens improve? That will be crucial. As Fruitful goes P11, 110.3. Jars, the 3, has got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Kaya. As Ferens invalidates his run at the final corner. He's still in P1 though. But can Milan and the Mercedes challenge him? He makes a mistake. Can he still challenge for pole position? No, because his time is well into the 120s at this point in time. So Milan not going for pole position here at Zandvoort. Going into the pit lane. And Ferens most likely is on pole position. Meneer van den Bergen not improving. Black Box not improving, has invalidated his run. Janssen is not improving. Davy is improving, but I don't think he is in with a shot of pole position. Let's see. Let's go on board with the McLaren driver. He improved by 1/10 of a second after the second sector. What can he do? Can he improve by the slenderest of margin? He goes P4, improving by 2.5 tenths of a second, just behind Jagizan and in front of Julian, his championship rival, as Damiano goes P10 in the McLaren. Behind them it's Joey crossing the line, slowly over the line. And I think, yes, Ferens is on pole position. Everyone has finished. So it's Ferens on pole position with Milan besides him on the front row. Then it's Jagizan and Davy on the second row. And behind him it's Julian, Borrell and Mika. So Ferens on pole position here at Zandvoort. So as we said, Ferens on pole position. Then it's Milan, Jagizan, Davy, Julian, Borrell, Mika, Meneer van den Bergen, Black Box, and Damiano in P10 rounding out the top 10. Then at the end of the session we had an incident between Jars and Kaya. they collided with each other, and RMP 13 and 14 respectively, they both have a 5-place grid penalty. So Jars will start P18, P17, Kaya P18, because we don't have 19 drivers on the grid. So they will start on the final row here at Zandvoort, and that is not an easy task ahead of you if you start on the final row, because overtaking has been proven difficult here at Zandvoort, as we said in the previous stream already, but let's say it again, once again. Overtaking is difficult here around Zandvoort. Your tire strategy and your ERS management need to be absolutely perfect if you want to plan an overtake. So they will have a hard task in front of them. As Yagizan in the bottom of the screen has joined the session. Maybe he left the session momentarily, but he is back in as we wait for the lights to go out for the formation lap. And I think everyone set a lap time on the soft tire, so no medium tires in the top 10. But I think there will be medium tires outside of the top 10. Yes, definitely. Steph in P13 and Jerry van Bussel in P15 on the soft tires. But everyone outside of those two drivers, outside of the top 10, are on the medium tire, as Borrell and Mika have collided on the formation lap, which means they have been disqualified. And by being disqualified from the formation lap, your tires are not being able to be warmed up, which might prove difficult for both drivers at the start, because having tires up to temperature on the start is absolutely crucial for your initial getaway. So Borrell and Mika might have a difficult start ahead of them in a few moments time in P6 and 7. So it's Ferrens from Milan, Yagizan, Davy, Julian in the top 5, 6 and 7 on the grid after being disqualified from the formation lap. The weather looks like it is a dry session throughout, so I have a dry race here at Zandvoort. As the cars are starting to line up on the grid. Ferrens now making his way towards the grid, towards his pole position. And Milan behind him. Is this a red cross? I think yes, that is Jagizan. Jagizan has been disconnected momentarily from the session, so at the start of this race, Jagizan immediately would want to get back into that AlphaTauri. And hopefully for the sake of him, he does. But it's Ferrens on pole position. It's Milan besides him. Can he get away cleanly? We'll see in a few moments time. The lights are not going on, as there's a little glitch. But the 5 lights are now on. 5 lights on, and the 5 lights are now out. It looks like a good start from Ferrens, but a good start from Jagizan as well. He's in P2, going at the outside of the Mercedes of Milan, and I think he has the position as Davy gets into P4. Good start from him. He has the the Aston Martin of Julian besides him, but he gets the position. Jars has been disqualified from the session already. What has happened to him? I think he stalled on the grid. But Ferrens gets away cleanly from Jagizan, from Milan, from Davy, from Julian, Damiano. Behind them, there are all sorts of kerfuffle going on. And Meneer van den Bergen losing a lot of positions here at the start of the race. In P17, he spun at the schijfvlak. Yellow sector 1, sector 2. And he is on his way once again. Julian in P5 behind his championship rival Davy, as Black Box is on the rear of Steph in the Haas, Might try to get a cutback at the chicane. Can he do anything to gain a position here? No, he can't, but he would want to get the position right away. Steph, though, also pushing for the position for the Red Bull, has no ERS left. Fruitful defending at the Tarzan corner, and Fruitful keeping that 10th position. Black Box looking, though, to gain the position on Steph in the Haas. He can't get the position right away. Will he go around the outside of the bank corner? No, he won't. Can he get a clean cutback? He's side by side with Steph. No, not really. Almost side by side with Steph. But it looks like Black Box is the faster driver. Can he go towards the inside of the Schijfvlak? He goes through on the inside and is ahead of Steph. An awesome overtake by Black Box. And Steph immediately gets out of shape. Crashes. And is out of the Grand Prix. Yellow Sector 2 as a virtual safety car. Steph out of the race. Okay, so Steph out of the race as there's a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. But immediately after Black Box overtook Steph, Steph getting out of shape and crashing into the wall. And let's hope no driver will get a time penalty now. Yagizan getting control of his AlphaTauri immediately at the restart, at the start of this race. Luckily for him, as we wait for the virtual safety car to end. Unfortunately for Kaya and Meneer van den Bergen, it is not a full safety car, but it is a virtual safety car. No driver has chosen to pit, including Meneer van den Bergen. Maybe Kaya will pit, I don't know if he has damage. But Jagizan on the rear of Ferens. This virtual safety car still hasn't ended yet. Let's hope no driver will get a drive-through penalty. Jagizan is right behind Ferens, pushing under the virtual safety car. As yes, the virtual safety car has ended, and it's a drive-through penalty for the race leader. Ferens with a drive-through penalty in P1. So that means Jagizan is in a net lead of this race because Ferens needs to serve his penalty. But will he do that immediately though? Kaya in P16 also with a penalty, a drive-through penalty, because he went too fast on the virtual safety car. Ferens immediately into the pit lane, Jagizan into P1, Milan into P2, Davy in P3, Julian in P4, P5 is now Damiano. All cars gaining one position from the drive-through penalty of Ferens, and even Joey gaining the position on Ferens. No, the Haas is still behind. Yes, the Haas is behind Ferens, so Joey not gaining the position on Ferens. As Borrell and Mika were side by side through the dunes, Mika getting through into P6. As Janssen behind Borrell is also looking to have some pace. Might he be able to overtake Borrell? Janssen on the medium tires. So his medium tires working good. Let's look at the different tires. So he's the first of the medium runners. Behind him is Fruitful. Janssen now pushing, but Borrell of course having the DRS. Janssen not getting ahead of Borrell, but Black Box getting ahead of Fruitful. Of course, Black Box with the soft tires is faster anyway at the moment, simply by the choice of tire. Janssen trying to set an overtake on Borrell. Borrell into the pit lane he goes, and now Janssen into P7. And Jerry van Bussel looking pacey at the moment as well, trying to get past Fruitful on the medium tires. It is hard to keep your position here with those medium tires, but if they manage to do so, Fruitful and Janssen might have a big advantage at the end of the race. Janssen though 1.6 seconds behind Mika, not having the DRS, might prove difficult to keep the position in front of Black Box. As Milan is very close to the rear of Jagizan. Milan having the DRS, he's not pushing. Might he be able to push for an overtake at the main straight? Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver. The gap is around 4/10 of a second. And that might just be enough to make an overtake. Jagisan missing the apex. Milan getting a good run out of the Arleudijk corner. Now he's pushing his ERS. He's activating his DRS. He is in the slipstream. Jagisan is not defending. And Milan into the lead here at lap 6 of the Dutch Grand Prix. And Davy behind sees it all happening in front of him. He's just looking in front and keeping that third position in front of his championship rival Julian. And now Milan has to push to keep his position from Jagisan. And Jagisan with the DRS easily being able, hopefully for him, to keep up with Milan. And might be able to store some extra ERS to use later on in this race. Let's go on board with Jagisan. He's on 68% of ERS now, as Milan similar on the ERS levels, 78 after braking for the chicane. Davy close behind Jagisan. Might he be able to push for an overtake? Because Jagisan has the DRS, that might prove difficult for Davy to make the overtake. Mika, close behind the McLaren driver, is not able to complete the move, but he is very close indeed, as Jansen has spun around, coming up the Tarzan corner, smashing his front wing against the barrier, and is in P13, overtaken by the Haas of Joey. And now let's go on board back to Mika, because he's very close to Damiano. Yellow flags once again. Oh no! What has happened there? Milan and Jagisan crashing. It's a severe collision between them. What has happened? Julian now trying to make a move on Davy as well. Davy not having the DRS. Julian having the DRS. Can he make a move on the McLaren driver? No, he can't. But what happened a few corners back between the race leaders? Both drivers now down the order. Jagisan in P10, Milan in P12. With Milan has the 5-second time penalty. Julian is trying to push now. No, he won't, but he is activating his DRS. Damiano is pushing though behind Julian. Can't make a move. So suddenly McLaren 1-3 in this race, and Julian in P2. The two championship protagonists in P1 and 2 very close, as Ferris and Milan into the pit lane. Ferris going for the hard compound, as Milan has retired from the race. So what has happened there? Mika in P4, elevated by all the incidents happening in front of him. Julian going wide. Might that be something Damiano can take advantage of? He's very close to Julian, almost into his gearbox, but Damiano getting all the shape, coming onto the DRS straight. Mika not able to make a move into the chicane. But these cars are so very close. Julian 3/10 down on Davy. Can he make a move on the main straight? Davy not getting the better exit. Julian getting the better exit. He can push to make an overtake. Certainly he can overtake Davy now. Will he make the move though? No, he won't. So Julian still in P2. As Jerry van Bussel is passed by Yüksel, but Yüksel going wide. And Yüksel in front in P7. So Jerry relegated down one position. As a lead medium runner, Fruitful is in P6, and behind him it's Yüksel. And Jansen has switched to the hard compound tire. He was on the mediums, remember. He's now on the hards. He had an incident with his front wing, needed to repair his front wing, so that's why he's so far down the other. Julian, with his strategy of keeping up with Davy in the DRS and in the slipstream, means this entire top 5 is closing up so much that they are losing a lot of time by Julian not making a move. Julian can make the move, is not making the move, but Julian is making the move in the pit lane. Julian into the pits, first of the top 5, and is switching to the hard compound of tire, it seems. So Julian on the hard compound. Janssen has spun around once again back onto the track, and Julian on the hard compound. Can he undercut the two McLarens, Mika and Black Box? Can he get out in front of them, at least in front of Davy, the car that he was battling with? Mika pushing to gain a few more positions. Let's look at the positions gained. Yes, Damiano gaining 8 positions as Joey is being overtaken by Meneer van den Bergen. Joey actually almost spinning at the schijfvlak. Has kept it on track though. And two Mercedes drivers not wanting to battle, I think. So a lot of guys making up a lot of positions in this race. And Mika is pushing. Damiano had to push a little bit of his ERS. And is gaining so much on Davy, but is not overtaking it. As Jerry van Bussel now heads into the pit lane. These drivers separate by just a few tenths of a second with Black Box. Don't forget him. He's behind in P4. Looking to make a move as well. Mika pushing towards the schijfvlak. Can he go to the inside here? No, he cannot. But can he cut back? No, Damiano has just got a little bit too much of a momentum going for him. So Damiano still in P2, Davy in P1. It's the McLaren 1-2 as Damiano gets a little bit out of shape going over the curbs of the right-hander. But still in front of the Alpine driver. Joey into the pit lane in P14. As Ferrens is looking to get past Meneer van den Bergen on his fresh, hard tires after having the incident at the start of the race. Can he get in front of the Alpine driver? The Alpine driver goes towards the inside. He brakes late. They are going side by side at the chicane, but Ferrens is making the move. He's still side by side though. Oh no, yes. Ferrens in front. Meneer van den Bergen almost spinning, but kept it well under control. Jerry van Bussel now on his medium tires. Can he push for an overtake on Meneer van den Bergen? Meneer van den Bergen though is moving up once again into P9, trying to make the move back on Ferrens. No, he cannot make the move. And Ferrens in P9. Jerry van Bussel cutting back. Cannot get a better run. As he stays behind Meneer van den Bergen a little bit longer. Meneer van den Bergen going towards the inside at the schijfvlak. There's not a position, another place you can do an overtake. And he backs out immediately. Now Mika on the rear of Damiano, real close to the McLaren driver. Will he push? No, he won't. He will go into the pit lane. So Mika going for the undercut. Which tires will he go to? He will go for the medium compound. Interestingly to see, will Julian be in front of Mika on his hard compound? Mika coming out of the pit lane now on the right hand side, and Julian easily in front of Mika. But Julian on the hard compound, Mika on the medium compound. So the difference in compound might prove crucial here. As Julian now gets close to his teammates. Hopefully for them, there will be a little bit of a team game. Jagizan in P5. After having an incident earlier on in this race. Is still in his 12 lap old soft tires. Trying to extend as much as possible, but he's locking up a lot at this moment in time. which might indicate that his tires are almost dead. Damiano now under attack from Black Box. Is Black Box the one trying to make the move now? Yes, he is trying to make the move, but in the pit lane. So now let's look at Julian. Can Julian get in front of Black Box as well? So Black Box coming out of the pit lane now. He's in the pit lane now. And he's easily ahead of the Mercedes driver. But is Mika ahead? Yes, he is ahead. So Mika making the undercut, staying in front of Black Box. And Davy and Damiano surely are losing a lot of time here at this moment. With their 13-lap-old soft tires. Question is, can the medium tires hold on until the end of the race? Julian obviously doesn't think they can, because he is on the hard compound. Will one of the McLaren drivers though go into the pit lane? Will they go into the pit lane? Jerry van Bussel goes wide. Ferrens has sights on the rear of the Alfa Romeo. Now has the DRS and is gaining a little bit of time on this straight. Joey now has spun at corner 3, turn 3, as the Alpine of meneer Van den Bergen I think has spun as well. Yes, he's in the barrier. Can he get out? Yes, he can, but he lost his front wing. So meneer Van den Bergen now reversing onto the track. Hopefully for him he won't be disqualified for that. No, he won't. He's on his way once again, but he doesn't have a front wing anymore. So he has the box and he's once again into the gravel. Is now Ferrens closing up to Jerry, but getting ahead of Jerry. And Davy into the pit lane now is behind Black Box, Julian and Mika. So Mika leading his train of cars. Davy losing 4 positions it seems. No, 3 positions, sorry. Mika, Julian and Black Box. So that's 3 positions lost. Now Mika needs to get ahead of Yüksel in the Aston Martin as meneer Van den Bergen gets 5 seconds worth of time penalties. I think he will retire in the pit lane. He is going for the soft compound. And obviously if he is replacing his wing, he can set a fastest lap time in this race. Yüksel is defending in the Aston Martin from Mika, but Yüksel knows it and Mika is ahead with a superior pace of the 2-lap-old medium tires. Meneer Van den Bergen coming out in this battle as Yagiza now sets the fastest lap of the race on the medium compound. So Yagiza trying to get back to the pack with his medium tires. But Davy making a rather stupid decision by staying out a lot longer than the other cars ahead of him, behind him at least, in first instance, but now they are ahead. As meneer Van den Bergen should get blue flags. There's Black Box now trying to go for the move on Julian. He's on the rear of the Aston Martin. Yüksel, his Aston Martin teammate, is in front of Julian as there was a little bit of contact between Davy and Black Box. Davy handling the rear of the Mercedes. But all seems well. Julian, I think, will be let pass by his teammates. Will Yüksel let Julian pass? No, he won't. So Julian and Yüksel are fighting here for position. With Mika gaining and gaining and gaining a lot of time. Yagizan once again fastest lap of the race as there's a yellow flag. Yellow flag! Who is that? That looks like Mika. It's a safety car. It was meneer Van den Bergen. So meneer Van den Bergen is now out of the race. It's a safety car. Damiano and Fruitful here can go for a pit stop and will come out in P1 and 2, I think. If Mika can't get in front of him. So Mika has a good position. But will Damiano and Fruitful be ahead of him after the pit stop? So it's a safety car, and Damiano obviously will go for the medium compound. But Fruitful, having set the medium compound at the start of this race, will go or to the soft tire or to the medium tire. Let's see what he will do. He will go for the hard tire. So 18 laps on the hard tires, easily possible. Where will he get out? It looks like Mika is in the lead of the race. Damiano gets out just behind his teammate, and Fruitful in P5 with his new hard compound. So all fresh mediums at the front. 4-lap old mediums for Mika, 3-lap old mediums for Black Box, 2 for Davey, and fresh mediums for Damiano. Then it's fresh hards for Fruitful, Jerry 6-lap old mediums, Julian Ferrens. Yuxel going for the soft tire, as is Kaya in P12. Janssen is still ahead of the pack, so he doesn't have to unlap himself, which, remind you, is not possible in this game. So he still has the opportunity to get back to the pack. So it's now a few laps under the safety car as Joey comes in to switch from his hard tires, I think, to a new set of medium or soft compound. It looks like a medium set, so he will go to the medium tires. And we've seen Damiano with 16-lap old soft tires. That was in racing conditions. 16-lap old soft tires, so that is possible. If the safety car stays out for, let's say, 2 laps, 16 more laps of racing have to be completed. And that means Yuxel's tires will be around the same age as Damiano's were before his pit stop, as Fruitful goes into the pit lane once again. I think he will go, yes, he will go for a medium compound, but he's sped going into the pit lane. So, speeding in the pit lane, he has now the opportunity to once again go into the pit lane to remove his 5 seconds. If the safety car stays out for 1 more lap. So, Fruitful thinking his hard tires were not the preferable strategy. He wanted to change to the faster compound. Now is behind a lot of these cars, and once again has to pit for a new set of tires, because he has a 5-second time penalty, which he dearly likes to remove from his lap time. Therefore, the safety car needs to speed up a little bit before Joey in the Haas has gained up to the pack, has catched up to the pack, because I think the moment Joey has catched up to the pack, that is the moment the safety car will go into the pit lane. No message as of yet of the safety car going in. So that means good news for Fruitful. Safety car might still go into the pit lane. The Haas of Joey not to the back of the pack yet. So I think the safety car will stay out 1 more lap. Yes, he will stay out for 1 more lap. So that means Fruitful, I think, will go into the pit lane to remove his 5-second time penalty, which means he went from P5. Yes, he will go into the pit lane. He went from P5 all the way to the back of the pack. Now is going for the soft compound tire. So he now, as he waits for the 5 seconds to be removed, is going for the soft compound tire. And I think that the soft runners in this race, so Yuxel and Fruitful, have the best strategy as of now. Their tires can last until the end of the race. And with Zandvoort being a very hard track to overtake, having different tire compounds is absolutely crucial. Fruitful has to get past a lot of cars though, And Juxel is now into P8, so he has a better chance of getting higher up the grid. But if it is up to Mika, he keeps his position in front with the 6-lap old medium tires. Of course, 2 of those laps on the safety car, and this the 3rd full lap on the safety car, I think. Black Box behind him P2, gaining on it also his championship rival Davey. Don't forget, Black Box is in championship fight. And the safety car will be in this lap. So, as we wait for safety car to come in, Mika can set the pace in the session. So he will set the pace at the front of the grid as we look on board with Black Box. When will Mika go on the power? He has to wait until the safety car is into the pit lane, and he is not into the pit lane yet. Black Box in P2, Mika in P1. Let's look at the restart. Mika is on the power, and Black Box has a good restart, but he can't attack Mika. Jerry van Bussel also has a good restart, but he can't attack Damiano in the McLaren. The soft runner of Juxel now actually being overtaken by a medium runner. So Yagi-san, oh no! There is the Williams of Ferrens out after being spun around. And Juxel also out! Juxel out! He is back into the race, but he spun around at the exit of turn 3. And now, after a rather eventful restart, the lead soft runner, Fruitful, is looking very good here as he makes the move in Janssen in the Ferrari. He has the superior pace of all drivers here. And if he can make the soft tires work, he has a very good chance of ending up in a high position at the end of the race. As there's yellow flags, it's Janssen in the Ferrari spun around at the chicane. Now Ferrens getting back in front of the Ferrari. Janssen having Ferrens having an absolutely horrible race, starting from pole. Now in P12, after once again being spun around, you can just see how much Fruitful is gaining on those soft tires. But he is stuck behind Burrell just a little bit now. As Juxel gets 5 seconds worth of time penalty speeding in the pit lane, I think he will retire from the session. No, he will go onto fresh medium tires. As we look to the standings, it's Mika in P1, Black Box in P2, Davey in P3, your top 3. And look how close they all are after the restart. And Fruitful not making up the positions on the soft tires as fast as he would like to, but still has a very good chance, as he goes a bit wide at chicane, still has a very good chance to finish higher up in the race. Ball in front of Fruitful, as the DRS is enabled, is looking to defend from the Red Bull driver, as the McLaren teammates are rather close. Damiano behind Davey, as Ferrens now gets past Joey in the Haas. So the Williams moving up one position at the expense of the Haas. And now Janssen is looking to make a move as well. Number 2 Ferrari of Janssen can't make a move as of yet on the Haas driver, but is gaining and gaining all the time. And let's look at this battle. It's very close here for P8, 4 temps in it, but the DRS train is proving difficult to overtake it. And that means Mika in front, the only driver in the top 10 not having the DRS, and defending from black box might have a hard task here, defending all the way until the end of the race. Black box goes to the right, fakes a move, and is not able to make a move as of yet, as Ferrens now fastest of any driver, a 1:12.3 in the Williams. Joey overtaken by Janssen, Janssen moving up to P12. Julian close to Jerry van Bussel. Make a move as of yet. Jerry having 12 lap old medium tires, his tires will start to drop off at some point in this race. And it looks like he has a little bit of a problem with following the McLaren driver. He's 1 second behind Damiano, and that means now 9/10 of a second. If that gap is increased to 1 second at the DRS detection point for the main straight, he does not have the DRS and is vulnerable to the Aston Martin of Julian. But he has the DRS, and that is proving crucial here to defend. Yagizan trying to make a move on Julian, not being able to make a move, as Damiano sits at 1:12.311, fastest of any driver. Yüksel comes out in the traffic, has blue flags, so needs to let these drivers by. Not letting the drivers by as of yet. Yüksel needs to go off the power, has blue flags, needs to get out of the way of the Aston Martin AlphaTauri driver, sorry. So still in the way of Yagizan, not getting out of the way. And now he's getting out of the way, so he has blue flags, lets all the drivers by. And he is 1 lap down. Julian close to Jerry van Bussel, but not able to make a move as of yet. He is very close though. And Jerry not having the DRS, making a mistake. Julian side by side and into P6, as there was contact between the Turkish driver Yagizan and Jerry. Jerry making the mistake. Yagizan, I think, went into his back. Yagizan now trying to make the move on Jerry as well, trying to push some ERS to get past. Is passed. Makes contact, and they are spun. They make contact, and Yagizan is still in the race. Yagizan did not leave a lot of room for Jerry van Bussel. Now Fruitful trying to go around the outside the Schijfvlak, as he does, into P7 on the soft tires. But the incident between Yagizan and Jerry van Bussel, I think Yagizan did not leave him a lot of room, which caused a little bit of contact between Jerry and Yagizan, and that caused Yagizan to go wide at turn 3. Borrell has DRS on Julian. Julian doesn't have DRS on Damiano, and that is a problem at the moment for Julian, but he is pushing a bit to get a bit of a safe distance from the Williams driver. Kaya is pushing to get past Jerry van Bussel. Yüksel sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Kaya going towards the inside. Jerry knows it. Still side by side though, going out of the Tarzan corner, hanging around the outside, which turns into the inside, and Jerry still in front, but Kaya with superior grip going out of the banked corner, pushing a little bit of ERS. Can he go around the outside of the Schijfvlak, or is he ahead? Going into the Schijfvlak, he is ahead. They make contact, but Kaya is ahead into P8. A good move from Kaya. Superior grip out of the bank corner and into P8. And Fruitful now on the back of Borrell with his soft tires. Borrell though having the DRS from Julian, so that might prove a difficult overtake from Fruitful. Borrell though making a mistake going wide. Kaya losing the DRS to Fruitful, as the car spun around. Is Joey. Joey has spun around as Fruitful gets 3 seconds because of time penalties. Has he made a mistake? I think he has made a mistake. and I don't think he has a front wing anymore. Yes, he speeds into the pit lane, and I think his race is over. Yes, his race is over. He spun at the Araløydekbocht. I think that proved that meant his race is now over. Now Black Box is pushing Mika to the limit. He's behind him 0.2 of a second, but look behind them. It's Davey, the championship leader, behind them, pushing as well. And then Damiano, let's say the top 4 are all very close. But Black Box is in a prime position to make a move. Can he make a move on Mika? Or is Mika pushing his ERS at the right moments? And looking at the battery, he does not have a lot of ERS. So he has only 24% of ERS left. Black Box, around 80% of ERS. So he has a lot more ERS than the Alpine driver. Davey is pushing a little bit behind as well. Black Box not pushing. As he sees the light at the back of Mika's car now blinking. He knows that Mika does not have a lot of ERS left. So Black Box, by managing his ERS and pushing at the right time, might be able to make a move solely with the amount of ERS he has, making it an easy move, hopefully for him. But when will their tires drop off? They are 15 laps old for Mika, 14 laps for Black Box, and 13 laps for Davey. Of course, a lot of those laps under the safety car. Let's say they are 12 laps old. Will their tires hold on until the end of the race? I think they will. Joey in P11, almost into the points, is on the soft tires trying to set a fastest lap in the race. Black Box. Oh, as Mika makes a mistake, will Black Box push now? He will. Yeah, he will activate his DRS, sorry, but not his ERS. So still, Black Box looming behind. And behind him is Damiano and Davey, as Ball got past Julian. So Julian in P6, Ball in P5. As I missed the move as a Tarzan corner, Ball is blinking with his ERS still. So if Julian wanted to make the move on Ball, or the other way around, I don't know for the moment. Oh no! Julian! Into the barrier! Losing his car at the schijfvlak, going over the curbs, and that is P2 in the championship. Possibly gone, because Black Box is in P2, and will gain a lot more points than Julian. Julian making a mistake at the schijfvlak, costing him his front wing. Now having to make an extra pit stop. And Johnson behind is being led past by Julian. Nice move from Julian. But that was a mistake by Julian at a time where he did not need any mistake whatsoever. Still, Black Box behind Mika, and is this the strategy that Black Box is having here? Staying behind Mika for as long as possible and pushing at the right moment to overtake Mika. Using his ERS at the right moment, but looking at the ERS levels of Mika, 14% only. So 14% of ERS left. That's not a lot of ERS. And looking at Black Box, yeah, 80% of ERS left. He has a chance to overtake Mika and drive away with only the amount of ERS he has left. So this will be a few interesting final laps. As McLaren 3 and 4 in the race, not a bad result for them at all. But the two proven race winners might try to make some moves here in the race. But as we said before, making a move at Zandvoort is difficult. But Black Box is trying a move on Mika. He's side by side at the Tarzan corner. Mika still side by side with Black Box. Has the inside line. And now the outside line, but Mika is still in front. So that was the first attack by Black Box. And it did not pay off. Mika had to defend. And it worked out for him. And now only 8% of ERS left. And Black Box letting himself known to Mika, as Ferenc is the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:11.5, still within the points paying positions behind Julian, side by side at the Tarzan corner. Now has the inside line, but Julian crucially going around the outside as there is contact. Ferenc braking a lot later than Julian. Of course, having the soft tires, he is able to do that. But if you have a car in front of you, that might not be the safest thing to do. Joey in P11 almost into the point with Yüksel behind. Still one lap down in P12. Let's look on board with Black Box and Mika. Black Box is pushing. He won't go for the move as of yet, but he has to push because Davey behind is also pushing. And the gap between the top three in the race, 0.5 of a second. Can Davey maybe once again go around the outside? No, he can't. He stays behind Black Box for now. Can Mika defend? Can Black Box overtake Mika? Or will Davey, or maybe even Damiano, win the Grand Prix? Looking at the standings, Davey is leading the championship by 12 points from Julian, who won't score a lot of points in this race. He's in P9 at the moment and has the fastest lap, so he will score 3 points at this moment in time. Black Box 19 points down from Davey, and by beating him in this race in P2 to P3, he will gain 3 more points to Davey. So that would mean his gap to Davey will be 16 points at the end of the race if Black Box stays in P2. But I don't think Black Box is content with P2. He's now in the slipstream of Mika. Mika is defending. Black Box trying to make a move. He won't make a move. Still behind Mika. Mika, at this moment in time, 14% of ERS left. 20 lap old medium tires. His tires are degrading as well. He doesn't have a lot of ERS. This is the most difficult of conditions for Mika to keep the race lead, as Black Box might be able to make the move in lap 35 or lap 36. After this lap, only 2 laps left for him to make a move. As Julian gets past Ferenc, I think there was a little bit of contact. Ferenc was behind Julian a few moments ago, and now Ferenc has a time penalty as well, still in P10. So the move on Julian did not pay off. Ball is closed up to the battle for P1 as well. Kaya not far behind, but that. Now looking at Black Box. Will he make the move now in lap 35? Mika going to the outside, but Black Box into the lead of the Grand Prix here in lap 35. It was a long time coming, but now Black Box in P1 and will try to go away from Mika as fast as possible. As Mika has only 12% of ERS left. Now goes into the single digits. And Black Box has pushed all of his ERS to get past Mika, but it has paid off. And Davey behind saw the move made and couldn't do anything about it with the level of ERS he has. He has only 25% of ERS left. As now Mika has one more chance at the start of lap 36 to get back at Black Box. Will he be able to make the move? Let's see. In the final moments of this race, he is pushing. Black Box 35% of ERS. He is pushing now, and with the amount of ERS Mika has, I don't think Mika can make the move on Black Box. He stays behind. Yes, he stays behind in P2. Davey though, looking to make the move on the Alpine. Can't make it work. He stays in P3. Mika, absolutely none ERS left. Davey also pushing all of his ERS. that he has is still not able to make the move. So Black Box leading the Grand Prix. It has been an excellent Grand Prix from him. Looking at where he started in P9. One of the most difficult positions to get back into the race, if you ask me. With the soft tires that he started on, he gained 8 positions at Zandvoort to be in the lead of the Grand Prix at the final lap. He is improving his personal best lap as well. Might he be able to go for the fastest lap? But Black Box, a masterclass of a race. Now through Arie Luijendijk, pushing a little bit of ERS, the little bit of ERS he has left, and now crosses the line to win the Dutch Grand Prix. Black Box on the top step of the podium takes 25 points home from Mika in P2, and then it's Davy in P3, your top 3. Then it's Damiano in P4, converting P3 and 4 into the race. So good points for McLaren. Then it's Borrell in P5. Kaya with a drive from the back of the grid into P6. Nice position and nice points from him. Jagizan in P7. What could have been from the AlphaTauri driver, as Ferrens, I think, has DNF'd at the exit of the final corner at the Arie Luijendijk. So that means Janssen in P8, Gilly in P9, Ferrens momentarily in P10. But I think Joey will take the point for P10 because Ferrens has crashed out. Yes, Ferrens now behind Joey. Joey in P10 is taking his first points home in P10, stopping at the finish line. He is happy, I know, because he's making some burnouts. And in P10 he finishes. P10 for Joey. But it's the winner of the Grand Prix, Black Box, with Kaya driver of the day, gaining 12 positions. And we had some very close racing moments between the drivers. And some incidents happened, and Black Box avoided all of them to become the winner here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Congratulations to Black Box. Let's invite him to the party, and also Mika and Davy. So let's invite Mika and Davy and Black Box to the party. So we have Black Box, Davy, and Mika. Let's add them to the chat and wait for them to join the interview. Summary for me, a bit of a hectic race, but yeah, let's hear from Mika. What do you have to say, Mika? Congratulations, P2, almost
yes,
P1, but I think the task of holding up Black Box with your amount of ERS was just a little bit too much. Talk us through it, please. What do you think? Yes, voice is on.
No words.
No words.
No, yes.
I
see the gap between Black Box and me. It was after last corner, 5th dance, 450. That was enough for the main street. But yeah, the last lap 35, I think so. Was,
yes. Lap 35.
3.9. 390, and yes, I think yes, that's over.
0.3 of a second was just a little bit of a was not enough of a gap to hold back Black Box. So Black Box, congratulations, leaving it late, making the move in lap 35. Awesome race by you, coming from P9. Congratulations. Talk us through those final laps.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone knows I'm the king of this division. I started P9. I knew I was going to get a relatively good start, but I think it was actually Mika or someone in front of me. I can't remember who it was, but they had a really poor start, so I went down to 12th. And yeah, I mean, it was a flawless race really for me. I saw people with the strategies. I knew that Mika's tires wouldn't be good towards the end, but luckily for him, he had the safety car.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I had a bit of an undercut on Davey and Damiano, so that worked out for me, and yeah, I'm happy. So
Yeah.
and also I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watching, and also I know you do really good commentary, so thank you to you as well.
Yo, later, Mike.
Thank you, man. Davey. Yeah, Davey. Later, Davey. Let's talk to you. Because you left it late with your pit stop, and that actually got you undercut by a lot of drivers. What was going through your mind at the moment of your pit stop? Why did you leave it so late?
Yeah, Yuxo hauled Mika up, and we thought we got more pace on the softs, and we want to extend the stint, and got in the end the fresh tires, but safety car came out, and yeah, it
Yeah.
was follow.
Yeah, the safety car changed the entire game. Some drivers went onto the soft tires. That did not pay off at the end, but still an interesting choice. But I think the battle in front was the entire race very close.
Yeah,
And yeah, some incidents, but I think the battle in front was well worth it. Thank you guys for an amazing race. Do you have anything to say at the end of the stream?
yo, later.
Yo, later, Dave.
You're
Later.
Well, thank you guys at home for watching, and we'll see you at the next race. Thank you.